Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get straight to the intro. Welcome back, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all, ding, so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking, and I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So last night was a hectic night. It was a crazy night. It wasn't as bad as fucking Dubs getting bit up by a mosquito. That vato got fucking banged on by that mosquito, right? Fucked his feet all up, his hands all up. That vato's forearms fucking looking like Popeye. Wasn't nothing like that, but it most definitely was a war of words between two individuals, and I found myself caught up in the middle. It's crazy how two groups, two guys who have so much hatred for each other, thousands of miles apart, that don't even know each other, right, can turn all on little old bitty me. But this is what it is, man. You know, I've always showed a lot of respect and support for the fucking brown community, North and South. It doesn't matter to me. You know, having been in Norteño, I'm always going to have the love for the homies. Always. You can't take that away from me to my dying day. You know, you can't tell me shit. I know how I grew up. I know who I grew up around. I know what they were about. So when I see people disrespecting them or talking shit, I laugh. I kind of chuckle. That old Norteño fire starts to bubble and boil, right? And then I realize I'm not that. I don't represent that. Those are not my people. Brown are my people, right? Raza's my people. Hey, human beings are my people, right? My kids are the only ones I should be worried about, not some youngsters on Instagram or TikTok fucking having a battle when both of them, and I mean both, North and South, because one was a Norteño, the other one was a Southsider. Neither one of them knew their history. Neither one of them were educated enough to know that what they were doing was in direct violation of who they really are and what their cause is about. You know, I got educated at a very young age. The homies gave me the game. You ask, you seek, and you shall find, right? And I was seeking a lot. I wanted to know why I was doing what I was doing, what the fuck I was doing it for. Now, of course, there was a lot of propaganda, misspread information, people telling me one thing about the Southsiders that wasn't truth at all. But at the same time, I was a smart enough individual to take what I wanted from the conversation and utilize it for my own reasoning, and the things that I knew that were untrue and that were just biased and that were just disrespectful, I threw in the can, homie. I threw in the basura, because at the same time, I'm not going to go sit down and do life or take penitentiary chances or make certain moves with certain individuals just because they have a seething hatred for a person they've never met. That just wasn't my thing. It was all business, never personal. From the youth authority to prison to the streets. When I gang banged at an active level, it was all for my gente and the cause, and not for one individual whatsoever. That's just how I got down, right? So last night, this is what I do. This is my typical night. After I'm done doing my lives, I'm chilling. I'm looking for content. I'm making my thumbnails. This is what I do as a content creator. This is my behind the scenes time with Gunners Collective, right? And hey, and I ain't getting up off the couch. For reals, I got Game of Thrones playing. They're killing what is it? Winter is coming. Winter is coming. And I'm over here on my phone scrolling through different social media platforms to see what the hell's going on, what news is popping, who's relevant, what's going on. And I come across a live on TikTok last night. And immediately I recognized the youngster, he's probably in his 20s, as a Norteño or a Northerner, right? And I recognize him by the hat he's wearing. He has a big old Huelga bird on his hat with the San Francisco 49ers sign. He has long hair. You know what I'm saying? He has his little glasses on. I mean, he's doing his part. He has the look down. The education, not so much, right? So I happened to stumble upon him, and I'm like, usually I don't jump in these lives because 9 times out of 10 when I jump in these lives, the PC's here, the punk's here, the educated one that'll give you game and tell you and show you how to get money is here, right? But anyways, I decided for whatever reason he was playing some good rolas. He had some good music bumping. Let me see what this youngster's all about. So I jump in. Immediately upon jumping in, I'm feeling the atmosphere. There's some bad chicks in there. I'm saying? I start chopping it up with a couple chicks. It is what it is. He brings someone on to battle, and it's a Southsider, right? The Southsider, of course, just has the Sul symbolism on his page. He doesn't show his face, none of that, right? And immediately they get to gangbanging. And I've never been a proponent for people woofing on the internet, like back and forth. You know, I've been caught up in situations, personal situations where it got out of hand and there's been a lot of disrespectful shit said back and forth, but it was never behind no North and South issues. Never, ever, right? You know, I've been called a lot of things. I've been called busters, chapetes, all kinds of things. And I just keep it pushing because I'm none of that. Even when I was that, I was none of that, right? So there was no really derogatory term to disrespect me because I was just like, bro, put up or shut up. Straight up. When I say put it up, whatever it is that you have that's powerful, put up, right? That was my mentality. Like, it's all or nothing at all. So I'm listening to these guys go back and forth, and they get to disrespecting each other. And both of them are very uneducated. And everyone in the chat is like, hey, bro, what the fuck you guys doing? You know what I mean? Why are you guys putting politics and things out there that shouldn't be out there? You know, I'm supposed to be the one that's all bad behind all that, right? Allegedly. Meanwhile, these dudes are talking about, oh, we function like this, that. My homies will get you like this and that. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to be totally honest. The Northerner was correct in a couple of the things he was saying, and I'm not just picking his side. This is the facts. He was like, hey, bro, we're functioning together in yards in the CDC in prison. It's a GPPC thing. You know, we're together. We're smashing on them fools, whatever. And the Southsider wasn't trying to hear none of that. He was all kinds of busters and this and that, right? And it started getting into a kind of like gay shit, talking about each other's hair and their lips and just weird stuff. And as I'm listening, being an older head, right? Being someone who's lived that life, but didn't live the life the way they're living it now on the internet. The Edgar era shit, you know, the woofing on camera back and forth. And it can lead, you know, lately we've been seeing, like with the Manny White situation, it can lead to some serious repercussions. People really feel some type of way. Like I said, your disrespect is not my disrespect. I might take something more harshly than you do, or vice versa, right? So they're going at it, and I can see the young Northerner, man, he's getting red. He's getting pissed. He's getting pissed because every time he tried to say something, the Southsider dude was on him, right? So as I'm listening to him, and I should have just moved on because it's really not my thing. You know, I'm definitely not going to involve myself in the woofing, but I don't even want to be around it, you know, because to me, it's inconsequential to what I got going on. It's boo-boo. It's bullshit, right? Like, if you really got that much, if you're really that active, you're really that much about the business, then go ahead, take a little drive, go ahead and find you something or someone and do your thing. I'm not promoting violence, but hey, you are, right? Handle it. So all this, I'll kill this, your lady this, your girl that, I'll fucking, you know what I mean? I'm going to fucking go bone your lady and kill your whole family. Just crazy stuff that they were saying, incriminating themselves. So I know at that point, they're not going to do nothing to each other at all. And one dude was like, hey, show your face. And the other one dude's like, stop showing your face, right? And I was just laughing. Then it started getting to some historical events, some things that they didn't know about. You know, so it was time to give them the Gunners Collective history lesson. I felt that if for no other reason as a brown man, if you're going to speak on our culture, if you're going to speak on our situation, if you're going to speak on our history, North and South, well, let the historian in me pop out, right? So immediately I put and this is me just not instigating, but sticking my nose in some business I shouldn't have. And I felt the repercussions for it. So let me tell you what happened, right? So I typed in the chat, what a shame. What a shame, right? And what I meant by that is two brown brothers, man. Two Mexicanos, Chicanos, Raza, arguing in front of 1,000 people on a live, knowing damn well neither one of them are going to do shit. Knowing damn well neither one of them have ever did shit. You know, they were youngsters. Hey, oh, my homie's in the pen. My homie's in the pen. Why aren't you in the pen? Why are your homies all in the pen? Where are you at? See, we used to live by a certain standard. We judged. Yes, we judged. We shouldn't have, but we did. You know, you couldn't talk to me about no time if you ain't never did time. Don't live vicariously through me, homie. Do your own thing. Oh, man, all the homies are locked up. Well, where were you at? Where were your antennas when the homies were getting locked up, right? How is it that you were the only one to make it that didn't get locked up? Either a lot of this or a lot of that, right? Something was popping up. I'm saying he was doing the crawdad. And so I'm hearing these guys talk about prison. So I'm like, what a shame. So immediately the Northerner recognizes me first. He's like, the PC Buster's in here, right? He said it himself, Buster. I said, well, damn, how are you going to be mad about the Southsider calling you that, but then you call me that? Bro, you're mixed up. Hey, little homie, let me give you some game. Little homie, let me give you some game. Right? So I was like, yeah, I'll be that. I'm going to go ahead and be that, but I'm going to be educated in what I say and in my willings and dealings with other people. First of all, you know, you're sitting there talking about the Southsiders ain't this, they're not that, they're not this. And just a few minutes ago, you said, but you have some primos that are Southsiders, and they are. So let me guess, out of everyone in the world, only your family's down, everyone else is not. And you, Mr. Southsider, right? You're over there talking about Northerners are all gay because they got long hair and this and that. Hey, let me tell you, bro, I was in the youth authority with Gordo from Rancho San Pedro. He had a Mongolian. I've seen, not all Southsiders are bald, homie. You know what I mean? This is a different day and age. North and South got Edgars. They both got shags. Chito Ranas was running around with the shag in the back of his shit. A humpback and a shag, right? So my thing is this. There's a lot of dudes that internet warriors. Never been about that. So as I say this, they immediately teamed up. The mega powers formed, right? Now it was North and South versus me. Now I was fucking, hey, you speak too much on politics. These dudes were just politicking like a motherfucker. They were just talking about prison and who stabbed who and what homeboys put in the work and their homeboys smacked someone on K Street and all this. I was listening to it. But then when I merely try to give him some game and tell him, hey, bro, you guys should, as an older gentleman who was part of that life, I'm trying to tell you guys, you're looking fucking stupid on these streets, bro. You're looking, it's a coward for you, the Northerner. It's a cowardice act, bro. For you to sit there and wolf and talk all that shit, but not be jumping in a vehicle going to do something. And for the Southsider, bro, I can't really speak on your politics at all. But what I can say, bro, is I ain't never met a Sureño who carried himself like you in real life. Vatos were put up and shut up type guys, just like myself. There was never no wolfing back and forth. When we were young in the youth authority, there was that. There was definitely that, right? And I was one of those guys that had a talk. I remember Smokey from Grape Street, Watts Vadio Grape. That vato used to go at it, wolfing, right, with the homie. And one time he was my neighbor. I boom, boom, boom. Smokey, let me get at you, bro. Who is that? I said, Skinner, right? That's what they used to call me. He was like, if we ain't got nothing to talk about. I said, well, I do. You could just listen. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Well, I'm going to talk anyways, bro. So I went to the back window. It was like a screen, right? In Ellis, in the box, in the caja. That's what we called lockdown. And I was like, hey, bro, that shit right there, that yelling and screaming back and forth with each other, that's how you guys get down? And he was like, hell no, that's how you vatos get down. I said, well, trip out on this. Let's do a test. How about I get at my people and tell them to shut the fuck up and you just calm down? Because all the rest of the Southsiders, they were smooth in their groove. They were just doing their thing. And he was like, if your people stop woofing on me, I'll stop woofing on them. Guess what? No one ever woofed again. I end up going fucking back out to the main line, right? I come back to the caja for I get down in the bin in the square area. And Smokey's like, hey, he's in there still, right? I don't know why he was always in the oil, but he was just one of those knuckleheads, a fuck up. And they put me next to him again. Hey, sometimes you get put in the fucking same cell over and over again. It's like those cells had our names on them. We were the only ones putting in work, right? So I go in there and he's like, hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. You said some real shit. I talked to one of my homies when I got back out and then I'm back already. And they're like, yeah, that Northerner was right. You know, that Norteño was right. So we ended up being cool. We never, I mean, if I'd have seen him in the square, he'd have probably got off. I'd have got off, but I never seen him outside of that caja, right? The hole. Anyways, quietly as it kept, word to the wise, some knowledge you can't get in college. I was right. So I always knew that the bumping baking soda breath on the cell doors was not it. It was not it. It was, to me, it was a cowardice act. You know, you knew he couldn't get to you. You couldn't get to him. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and play your cards right? Eventually, over time, they might put you guys together and you could handle your business. So anyways, as I'm telling the youngsters this and that, it's whatever, right? And they're both going on me. They flip it. Now they're tag team, right? And then they kind of became friends. That's right, homie. This is how we do it in the CDC. I was like, if it takes me sacrificing to bring the raza together, so be it. Go ahead. Go in on me, bro. Talk all that shit you want. Just remember and recognize I brought you guys together. I was the force that did that. I was the energy that did that. And so now they started talking cool. Hey, yeah, hey, fuck. I ain't even gonna lie. The Northerners say, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I fuck with Glock Stars, bro. That the music down there. Oh, yeah, bro. I fuck with the Acito and shit. Then they were cool. They were doing the right thing, though. The wolfing on me and all that I could take. I'm a grown man. It ain't nothing to me, right? But it took me to come in there and say something which is in opposition of both of them, because they're both allegedly active gang members, and me being a non-active gang member and not being a part of that life, they turned on me. So I was like, it worked. Well, I thought it did. So this is what happened last night. So as I get off, I'm like, whatever. These kids are like, get off PC, punk. Well, all right, I'll be all that. I'll be that. What your mama look like? I'm trying to see what that be like. I'm trying to clap something, right? I'm getting mad. Before I fucking put my foot in my mouth and say something stupid, whatever. Let these little youngsters fucking get back to whatever they were doing. I'm out of here. I get off. This is what goes down. So the area I live in Washington, right? It's mostly Nortenos. There are some Southsiders in this area. I've seen them. I've seen their tagging on the wall, Florencia, Playboys, Tortilla, whatever they put, right? But I have never really ran into too many of them. I ran into a couple at the tire shop. They were tripping off the whole bozo shit. Whatever, right? Nothing happened. And I don't go seeking validation from any of them. I don't go looking for gang members. You know, if you go looking, you're going to find some shit. But I don't. Now, I've ran into several Nortenos, right? And 9 times out of 10, when I do run into them, they don't even recognize me. Or if they do, it's just kind of like, what's up, homie? And that's it. They don't. I've never been pressed upon. Like, you know, I told you guys about the Edgar little youngsters that fucking got at me about my channel. Oh, that's a dropout channel. Whatever, bro. Drop in before you know what a dropout is. Whatever. So I'm not. I'm in a point in my life where I don't give a fuck no more. Okay, I love my family. I love my friends. I love my inner circle. Those that are around me. I'm not trying to fucking grow it. It is what it is. This is my life. I'm getting old now, right? So I'm not gonna. I'm not lacking, but I'm not out there like, I just don't give a fuck, man. I'm out there being a man, doing man shit, right? If I want to go fishing, I'm going to go fishing. If I want to go fucking get ice cream, I want to go, you know, whatever I want to do. I'm not going to fucking, oh, no, I got to think about what part of the neighborhood I go to at what point in time. What kind of coward shit is that? That ain't me. I ain't him, right? I'm pushing. So, and no disrespect, and I'm not saying motherfuckers won't handle their business. I'm just saying this is how I feel at this point in my life. So last night, after I get off the live, I said, I want ice cream, right? I want ice cream. But the only thing that's open is like a supermarket. So now you got to understand, I'm still like, these dudes were going at me and I felt kind of good, but at the same time, I was a little angry. I was upset. And I got an attitude problem. I've always had an attitude problem. I got anger management problems. I'll take shit out on other people that don't deserve it. If you've ever watched my live, sometimes I'm mad and shit. I don't know. It just is what it is. So this is me being real. I pull up to the store. I'm going to get me a motherfucking gallon of some zero sugar ice cream that I like, right? And because the diabetes be kicking in. I ain't even going to lie. Sometimes I say, fuck it. Rocky Road is what it is. But as I pull up, there's a car with a couple bottles in it smoking a joint. Southsiders, right? So I walk by. I'm like, what's up, bro? They see me walking. There's nothing I can do. I got the Hawaiian shirt on, some shorts, some chanclas. You know what I'm saying? I'm slipping. I'm on straight chitarranas mode with chanclas. At least I'm not barefooted and fat. So as I'm walking by, they see me. What's up, Ese? What's up, homie? Right? I walk into the store. I come out there still smoking weed. They're like, hey, where you from? I was like, fuck it, man. I don't give a fuck, right? I said, Norte, California, right? Not Northern, Norte, California, I say, right? The vato said, are you a Norteño? I said, no. He said, then why you say it like that? I said, what other way am I supposed to say it? I'm in a bad mood. Like, fuck, what are they going to do? Jump me? Shoot me? At this point, bro, my ice cream's melting. Fucking get on with the get on, or can I get on with my get on? And they're like, yeah, hey, we're looking for some fucking, some busters or whatever. And I said, what the fuck? I mean, they're everywhere, bro. You'll find them. Whatever, right? So they're like, all right now. All right. I jump in my truck. I bend a couple corners when I realize I didn't get the chocolate syrup. I got to go back, right? And I ain't even gonna lie, I was a little shook up, like, damn, what if these fools had a gun? I'm so stupid. Now I'm calming down. So as I go into the store, they're gone. They jammed, right? Maybe they went to go find their busters. I don't know, whatever they went to go do. But now you got to understand, this shit's still in my mind, all these youngsters going in on me, man. Unity. I go into the store to get my chocolate syrup, and I grab me a chocolate covered payday. I don't know. I had the munchies, right? And as I'm coming out, 4 young Northerners are walking in. Bush in the back, you know what I'm saying? Gold in the mouth, just Northerners, right? And they immediately spot me, and they're like, Gunners Collective. And I'm like, fuck. Got them. All that high power shit, man. My ice cream's going to melt. And I remember in my mind, damn, my ice cream's going to melt. I guess I'm not going to taste what chocolate syrup tastes like anymore. And I turn around and I'm like, what's up? They're like, hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we like how you show us love, right? One of the youngsters says, we seen what you were talking about on live tonight. And I look, I'm like, I'm spooked. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, fuck, I ain't got nothing on me. Like, damn, they got me. I'm more shook up of the Northerners and the Southsiders because they're outside of the, in the building. The Southerners were in the car. I could have kicked one in the face and ran, right? If I needed to, hit them in the head with fucking, with the zero sugar. But these ones are like right there. One of them's pretty big. I'm like, damn. And he was like, hey, we watched what you did, man. That was righteous, bro. That was education. Like, hey, we fuck with your channel and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Keep it on the under, but you know what it is. And I was like, that's what's up. And they were like, yeah, man. Saludos. And that's it. True story. Last night, I was like, fuck. I was that close. I was like, man, I got at by Nortenos. Oh, but I ain't even gonna look, this what happened. So as I'm leaving, I said, hey, there was a couple Southsiders looking for you guys. Watch out, right? Stirring the pot. Bye-bye. Right? I'm gone. I got ice cream to fuck up and Game of Thrones to watch and possibly a chick to fucking, talk to while I put a sock on my shit. I'm just being real. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle for what I truly believe in and what you truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people, man. Fuck with your boy one time. They almost got me again. One of these days, they're going to get me in. Then I'm going to come up here with 2 black guys like, I got stung by a mosquito. Shout out my boy Dubs. New video.